taste and all of that, which I would prefer not having, but I could live with. But for them, it's most likely going to be deadly, so I'm just not gonna risk it. It's a problem me. If you don't mind me asking, Corundum, I guess I can call you like that. In which country do you live? I'm in Canada. I know that here, it's still going to be at least a few weeks before people that are going to have it for medical reasons are on the list. Like, at the very minimum, 2 more weeks. Probably 4. US close to the Ontario border. Okay. It helps me have an idea of where the rest of the world is as far as vaccine progress goes. I know that despite big logistic issues, US is going pretty fast right now. You'll be heading out to bed? Well, thank you for the well wishes. Thank you for coming by. Have a good sleep. Also, you were saying... Oh, I missed one of your chat. Something about looking to get a job with the NHL, might end up in Montreal. Right now you're learning Irish with your mom. Hey, if you ever end up in Montreal, let me know. Maybe we could have a meet-up at some event around here. Because I do live in Montreal. Especially if there's like some sort of gaming event or expo, like the LAN RTS I was talking about earlier, or DreamHack. And I know you said something about learning French next. You're learning Irish with your mom. So, is your mom Irish, or are you taking classes with your mom? Can you remind me what GFA is? Or like what the acronym stands for? Or did you mean GSA? So your family is of Irish descent. So you're learning with your mom because basically you guys just want to learn the language that your family has learned for a long time, which is cool. Games finish adequately. I don't know if I would consider speedrunning called adequately. Unless it's some kind of like glitchless marathon. So here's a reload checkpoint strat, by the way. It's especially good on lullabies. Because you also skip the animation where Inu is like singing with the lullaby. I don't think I've heard of games finished adequately. If it's in Toronto, I would say it's close enough for me to call it local, or at least like somewhat local. I'll try to look it up. Okay, fourth tries the charm. So one more should be good. Don't mess it up. Please don't mess it up. Thank you. Alright, please go through the wall. Just please do. Yes! Alright, we're through. This is a run. Let me switch back to controller, because I do prefer controller. The reason I use keyboard for two things in this game. First one is tilt clips, because it allows me to have perfectly left or perfectly like up left angles, like at 45 and 90 degrees. The second thing I use keyboard for is anger skip, where you skip the entirety of the anger chapter, stage I mean. Simply because the setup requires going straight forward, then straight up right, so it's easier if you have a keyboard. Alright, so I'm hitting the checkpoint here first, before going down. So it will take me more time before I reach the lullaby. However, it will allow me to reload checkpoint at the lullaby and get back up faster. It's also going to respawn me near the exit of this room, so that's even more time safe. Been around since 2017. You think they only do one event a year, and last year's was scheduled for March 21st, so I'm guessing that last year was cancelled. Alright, reload checkpoint. I'm keeping an eye out on my load remover, because I don't fully trust my load remover yet. I'd say it's still experimental. I've done 2 complete runs, and it hasn't failed me. But there's still a bit of uncertainty with it. I've also added some redundancy to make it more reliable. Speaking of which, I need to try and fix the which way auto splitter for the issue that that other person was having. Oh wait, don't forget the keyhole. If I forget this keyhole, I won't have an opportunity to get it back. Speaking of which, the issue that I think their name is Bruiser, something like that. The issue they've been having with which way, have you been having it as well? Because I know the whole if you close the game, then live split doesn't pick it up again. I was aware of that, but I fixed it on my side, and I thought it was fixed for good. But I also changed some stuff concerning how the game detects the when it should start. Because it used to start for no good reason. Like, the value I was looking for would change in other scenarios, which would make the game start when you don't really need it. It was fine because of the auto reset. It would reset then start if you started a new game. So I don't know if maybe by trying to make this a little better, I may have broken the start. Okay. I'll try to look into it again. Maybe I'll add like a bunch of logs and ask you guys to give me your logs. And by guys, I mean that in the neutral sense, you people. Got 100% world record earlier today, but oh, nice. I still need to do 100%. Like, I know I can do it, but I just feel a bit, how could I say? I don't know if intimidated is the right term, But it's just that it's a lot of tiny details to remember. And I know I might get frustrated because I keep forgetting things that make me lose 1 or 2 seconds here and there. I'm glad the all bunny caught up. I want to do that as well. Because all artifacts is cool, it makes you look for all the rooms. And I guess all bunny would make you look for all the secret rooms without having to deal with the eyes. By the way, if you don't want to close live split whenever the auto splitter has an issue, you could deactivate it, reactivate it. That should work as well. Since I'm using the ASL file, because you know I'll be editing the auto splitter live if I have any issue. What I do is I just save the file so live split reloads it. Basically, live split does not need to be restarted. It just needs to reinitialize the auto splitter. It's super annoying. Yeah, in that case it might... Oh, you're right, because live split's gonna keep... Anyway, it's gonna keep your layout and everything, so... Like, exit or Alt F4, then just clicking it is probably super fast. Yeah. Like, I don't feel too bad about it, because I know it's not because I, like, coded something wrong or whatever. It's really an issue with... Like, it's not really on live split fault either. It's really an issue with how the game is really poorly coded. It's funny because if you take the original exe file and you open it with a zip or an archiver, because all X files are just archives that you can execute, you'll see that inside that X file there's another executable, and that's the one it sends over to the temporary folder. Oh, has this ever happened to you? Casually, it would happen to me all the time. Sometimes when I would move a laser and the laser would hit a new wall, it would soft lock my game. Like, it would... No, not soft lock, sorry. It would hard lock my game. It's never happened to me ever in a speedrun. But casually, in the library, my game would hard lock a lot when I would move a laser and that laser would hit a new wall. I'm guessing probably some kind of collision detection code that just runs in a loop. Yeah. Something I haven't seen as well yet is the bug that was posted recently about bunnies and one-way gates. No! That's dumb. That's dumb. That's super dumb. How to lose a few seconds. Because I'm bunny hopping, it's possible to go faster than than the elevator closes the door. So you can accidentally get out of the elevator before it goes up. It doesn't really go up, it just teleports you, but whatever. This is a very non-Euclidean game. It teleports the player a lot to give the impression that certain corridors reach places they shouldn't be able to. Are those actual golds? Oh, you know what? They must be game time gold. Because that's the first time I'm running this with the load remover active. What I used to do was to press the pause hotkey at the start and end of a load. So at least I could approximate it to know if if that should be a record or not. But here's the thing: during a complete run, a complete 100% run, because of my new reload checkpoint strats, I've added about 11 load screens. So Textrope, the moderator, used to have to remove 4 or 5 reload checkpoint screens, depending on the category. Now in 100% he has to remove 11 of them? No, sorry, 16 of them? 15 maybe? So that's what gave me the final push to really find something to remove loads. Because it was getting ridiculous. Ah, JFS, j'ai totalement ignoré ton message, excuse-moi, je l'avais pas vu. Enfin, ton Twitch, c'est linké comme avec YouTube. Tu veux dire ton username? Je suis pas sûr de comprendre. Yeah. Technically, you could say it's like pre-approved, quote unquote. Take has seen it. He's loving it right now. But he's gonna have a lot of work to do to adjust everyone's time. Something we've been thinking about is to add a category on the board that says whether that time is... whether the loads are manually removed or removed through an auto-splitter. Because anyway, if they're removed through a load remover, it's gonna remove more time than manually. Because the visual cue that has been used so far for the manual removal isn't perfect. And it also doesn't count some fade to whites when going into a memory. Because when you go into a memory, that's also a map change, and it can be affected by loads. Not only that, but when we reload checkpoint, it starts with a fade to white, then you see the load screen. And that fade to white is also affected by load. But we didn't use to count it because there was no visual cue of when during the fade to white we should be starting to count the load. So it is going to be extremely useful. Yeah. And the main thing with a variable on the leaderboard is that it allows us to progressively update everyone's time. Whoops, forgot about this. It would allow us to progressively update everyone's time. So let's say someone comes in and requests for their time to be... I hate this. Like, they allow me to yell without actually reaching the statue. Anyway, if someone will request for their time to be, like, adapted to what would be with the load remover, then you can go through their time and just update the variable to say that you know, it's using the new, I guess the new timings for it. So we can slowly update everyone instead of having to do it in one go for all the boards. Whoops. I'm losing. Ah, oh! Stop jumping in the stairs. That's an example of somewhere I should not try to be bunny hopping. It's even worse than vertical jumps. It's when Inu just doesn't jump at all and he, I don't know, spazzes out on the ground. I'm always losing a ton of time here compared to record. At least I can make up with my new strats, but my bargaining is really bad. I really only have a chance at record because of the new strats. I could also be learning a strat that can save up to 1 minute and 10 seconds, but it's really hard. And I haven't even been able to do it once in practice yet. And I also don't need it to get record. I can get record without it. Like my last PB is 8 seconds off record. The world record that is shown at the bottom of my splits right now is not right. That's the world record for the full game run and not the individual level for bargaining. But yeah, my PB is 8 seconds off and I'm still losing a bunch of time. A fun fact about this room, the first time I jumped down, well, first of all, I jumped down so I don't have to go through the elevator again, it's a bit faster. The first time I jump down, if I miss and void out, it will result in a soft lock. And the last checkpoint is very far away. It soft locks because I void out at the same time the cutscene starts. And so it messes up Inu's position and control during the cutscene. Here's a small improvement over the record. Instead of going down and picking up the emblem right now, I'm gonna first open the door so that the sentinel can pass. And here the sentinel can reach really far before it starts waiting for me. So I'm gonna use that fact to just let it walk while I collect the emblem. There we go. Nice. Also, some of those reload checkpoint strats, sometimes by themselves they can save like 20-40 seconds. One of them can save, I think, up to 3 minutes because it allows me to skip the first windmill in anger. So by itself the reload checkpoint isn't a lot, but because the reload checkpoint is used, it allows me to collect an item I couldn't collect otherwise. Skipping the windmill. But there's also some of those real checkpoints that are gonna save like 2 seconds. So a bad menuing could nullify the reload I'm doing. And I mean 2 seconds loadless. If you include the load, it's a huge time loss. Like a 12 seconds time loss. And this is one of them. This is one of the reload checkpoints I'm about to do that saves like 2 seconds at most. Because I'll have to wait for the... how is it called? For the sentinel to go through its animation again, where it looks at the door and then realizes it should probably be helping me. Alright, reload. That was okay. I think I'm gonna reach a full minute of load times now. Almost. Oh no, we got there. Alright, anyway, so now the sentinel has to do its animation again. There we go. The only game you've run with heavy checkpoint reloading is Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Huh. I don't know a lot about that game. I've seen a bit of gameplay, but like casual gameplay. I need to go pick up the ore right now. So how is the reload checkpoint used in that game? Because I'm not very familiar with that game. I know what it is, I know what kind of game it is, but that's about it. Yeah, it is a RPG, so... Well, RPG? At the very least, it's like a tactical RPG. So I can imagine that it would be complicated. You have to react to some random elements and strategize on the go. Adapt. Can skip on... Ah, I see. So you go in the cutscene, reload checkpoint, the games assume you've seen the cutscene, so go back to it and then you can skip. Speaking of which, there's in RiME, there's only 2 cutscenes I've found so far that that are skippable by using reload checkpoint, because usually the game won't save before a cutscene is finished. But there's 2 cutscenes I found where the game saves, then the cutscene happens, and you could reload checkpoint to skip them. However, they are in anger, and we cannot reload checkpoint in anger because we skip the checkpoint that says that the door at the beginning has been broken. So like it is broken because in the cutscene the bird breaks it, but the game won't save that it's broken until we hit the next checkpoint. So basically, we have to do the entirety of Anger without reloading or quitting or anything like that once. Otherwise, you soft lock. And by soft lock, I mean you have to restart a new game. Because your game saves in a state that prevents you from continuing. So yeah, the two cutscenes I found you could skip are in Anger, but we cannot reload checkpoint in Anger because with soft lock. Yeah, it's super annoying though too because it could save minutes. Like I found 3 or 4 reload checkpoint strats in Anger that could save probably 1 or 2 minutes, if not more, done optimally. Also, something that can happen casually, but that's also something. Being softlocked that way wouldn't happen casually. Like, you have to do a huge speedrun skip. But one thing that can happen casually that is a bug with reload checkpoints, it's mostly visual, so, you know, it's not a big deal. It's, when entering the second windmill, there's a room above your head that is full, where the ground is full of water. So if you unlock the door, the game saves, and if you reload checkpoint at that point, when reloading, the water at the second level will render at the first level. So it will look like you're underwater. However, it's not swimmable water, so nothing happens and it's only visual. But yeah, if you reload, the visuals of the water stretch underneath the room as they normally would. It's just that they hide it the first time you get in that room so that you don't see it. Yeah, no, the big soft lock doesn't happen casually. I kind of wish it did though, because then maybe the devs would have fixed it. Also, I don't know why these guys are still here. When I do... Oh, I think I know why they're still here. It has to... Yeah, it's probably because of the reload checkpoint. So normally, those shades aren't there. There's like extra shades right now. I think it's because normally you don't reload checkpoints. So by the time you come back here, the game has despawned them because they're supposed to be the shades that you encounter the first time you go through. But because I reload checkpoint in the Queen's Hall, like past the Queen's Hall, the game probably reloads the shades. I think that's it. So, I just came back to the chimney right now. If you want to know how much time the second tilt clip in any % saves, all the time I spent from going out of the graveyard and this chimney, all until I came back here, let's say minus the time I spent picking up extra items like emblems and all of that is skipped. In any % with the tilt clip, you go get the tilt past the shade, you climb back and walk back all the way here, and you you clip under this door, which allows you to hit the checkpoint, reload checkpoint, to go back in bounds and spawn the sentinel. And that saves around 25 minutes done optimally. Wait for the bridge to respawn. There we go. Here's another time save I'll have the second time I climb this tower. Or scaffolding, whatever it's called. So by the way, the skip that would save a minute that I haven't bothered, that's a hard word to say, learning is here. Basically, you can skip going up the first time by bringing the orb from the graveyard to here. This allows you to have 2 orbs, so instead of picking up this block and using it to activate the switches, what you do is that you use 1 orb to move the sentinel and use the sentinel itself to activate the switches. Then use the second orb to solve the puzzle as you're supposed to. So, like I said, I would use an orb to bring the sentinel there. Oh, that was limit. That was very close. I don't think that's intended, but we can do it, so it's also a bit quicker. So, according to my RTA time, I'm losing time right now, which is not great news. So here we just had a checkpoint, which means that if I reload, I'll respawn right in front of the orb. And I can use that to my advantage to climb back down quicker. In fact, by climb back down, I mean skip the skip the climb entirely. Oh, that was a bit scary. Nice, that was quick. I know I'm a bit slow climbing this. I'm not sure exactly why, but anyway. So, reload checkpoint. And this is the extra time save I get. Not only do I not have to climb down, but I don't even have to walk the cemetery. Get the block, right. I forgot what I'm supposed to do. I have one more lullaby to pick up here, and that should be all the items for bargaining. After that, I just walk to the end. Can I... Oh, I can just jump. I think I said I'd show something after this run, but I don't remember what it was. So, sorry. I'm not gonna show the thing because I don't remember what the thing is. Hey. Sorry. Quickly game. No, didn't have time. I tried to quickly go on speedrun.com to see what's the time I'm supposed to get right now, but I didn't have. I wasn't fast enough. That's fine. At least my time should save because that's a loadless record, not record but PB. Yeah, I just got in the red for RTA, so it's probably 42 something. Or 41 in game time even.